and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus. Today I'm doing the end of the year book tag. Alright, so let's jump right in. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So up until probably this week, yes, there was, and then I decided that I'm actually going to DNF this book. So originally this answer would have been Empire of the Vampire. So I started this book, oh gosh, I don't even remember, months ago. I got literally halfway, I'm like right halfway through it and just was not enjoying it. I think it was around the time I got COVID, so I was kind of blaming it on that maybe. Maybe I just was too sick, but honestly, looking back on it, I wasn't having a good time with it. The original answer to this question would have been Empire of the Vampire, but as of this week, I decided I'm actually going to permanently DNF this. I just wasn't liking it. I honestly did not like the main character. So it's about Gabriel, who is a vampire hunter. He's been captured by one of the vampires of the Vampire Queen, and he's being interviewed, and basically they want to know how he has so much power, how he was able to kill so many vampires. And it goes from there. It's like back and forth in a timeline from present to his past. And Gabriel's just an asshole. I mean, I don't know how to put it any other way. He's just annoying. I didn't like him. And it's not even because, yes, he cusses a lot, which I literally have no problem with because I cuss. I didn't care, but it was almost to the point where he was like a 19-year-old who just learned how to cuss and was just stringing along random curse words and insults. And initially, in the beginning of the book, I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, he's crazy. But then it got really old and corny, and I just didn't care about the story. And if you don't like the main character, it definitely makes it hard to want to finish it. So, long answer to that question, but it would have been Empire of the Vampire, but I'm DNFing it. But anyway, typically I don't save books and read them later if I'm going to, I'm either going to finish it or it's going to be a DNF. But I will say also, up until recently, I have put a temporary DNF on a book that I very much was excited to read. It was one of my most anticipated books of 2022, and I reread the first book, which is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I loved it. It's a young adult fantasy book, an Arthur retelling, and I thought it was a great book. And I started reading Bloodmarked and I'm 106 pages into it, and I just wasn't feeling it. I don't think it's a bad book. I think it was just the mood that I'm in, so I am temporarily putting this aside, but I will not be finishing it this year. God, that was a long answer to that question. The rest of them won't be so long. Question number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? I had to think about this one, not on purpose. I typically don't need a book to transition into another season, but I think this book actually is a good choice though. The Ninth House, I'm rereading this month. The second book comes out January 9th, and I'm very excited about it. I think this is a good book to kind of transition from like autumn to winter because it is set at Yale, so Yale University. It's got that school academia setting. A lot of the chapters are named winter. They're named after seasons. Last fall, winter, spring. I don't know. I think this would be a good book. This is a fantasy book. Leigh Bardugo's first adult fantasy series. It's a great book about Alex, who has a pretty rough history, rough past. Ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer. She survives like this mass homicide, and she's propositioned to go and attend Yale, but with the catch that she has to watch and study and kind of report back on activities of Yale's underground society and all the cult things that they're practicing. And it gets pretty dark and gritty, and it's a good read. So I think it's a great choice to kind of transition from autumn to winter if you're into this genre. Next question, is there a new release you're still waiting for? Nope, the last book that I was still waiting for was Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, so the sequel to Legendborn, and that's it. So all done for new releases for this year. So yeah. Next question, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So there weren't any like new books that I knew I definitely wanted to read, but there are some books that I wanted to reread because going in 2023, there's a lot of series that I want to continue, actually get further along in, if not finish, hopefully. I'm really good at starting series, but I'm really bad at finishing them. So I knew that there was a couple books that I needed to start rereading, one of which was The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So that's on my TBR for this month. These are all, like, I've already mentioned them in my TBR, so I'll just go through them quickly. Black Echo by Michael Connelly, crime fiction. Huge series that I used to read, loved many years ago, and want to reread and actually get caught up with for 2023. And I want to continue on in the First Law world, so that the next book that I'm reading is going to be The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie in December. I love this series. So these 3 books I knew that I wanted to make sure I finished because I want to keep going in 2023 and hopefully get them finished or caught up for as far as they are. So yeah, these are the 3 books that I knew that I wanted to start or reread because I want to really focus on finishing series or getting completely caught up to series in 2023. That is one of my reading goals. Next question, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie has a huge chance of being at least in my top 10 books potentially because I've loved most of his books. But out of the other books that I'm reading in December, a lot of them are rereads, and I know they're not going to make my like top 10, so I'm gonna say probably not, but maybe with The Heroes, but we'll see. And the next question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2023? And yes, very much so. Like I said, one of them is to continue specific fantasy and sci-fi series that I've loved so far, and starting some of them that have been on my TBR for quite a while. So definitely some series goals that I have in mind, and just probably reading lots of Stephen King, rereading some of his books that I haven't read in probably like 20 years. Yeah, so those are just a couple of the goals I have, so I've definitely already made some plans for 2023 reading goals. So that's it. That was a quick video. Those are all the questions. Let me know below, what are your 2023 reading plans? Are you participating in any like major readathons? That's another thing that I'm excited about. There's a couple readathons that I'm going to be a part of, not hosting, but just jumping in and reading along with the community. So let me know below, what are your plans and how was your year? Do you feel like you've had a good reading year, or are you looking forward to 2023 and hoping that it's better? Let me know below. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to hear your 2023 reading goals. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time. See ya.